Our second speaker now, and that's Chris Watson, and he is an urban and regional planning consultant and partner in the planning consulting firm of Bridge and Watson in Oxford. He has 19 years of experience in the field of city and regional planning, and additionally, he's involved in preparing the healthcare master plans, as some of you've seen today, following the governor's efforts to promote healthcare as an economic development opportunity. So let's welcome Chris to the podium, please.
It's good to see all of you this afternoon. We got 7 minutes to go through what I want to go through, so I'm going to try to make it quick as well. First, I want to say to Governor Bryant, as a member of the Mississippi chapter of the American Planning Association, we appreciate very much the fact that your office involved AICP certified planners with experience working in the state of Mississippi in this project. We appreciate that. Now, on to what we're here for. I want to talk to you this afternoon about where do you go from here. And ironically, you've already heard some comments that I was going to present to you. But some of you, I don't know how many of you are mayors or members of a board of supervisors, economic development professionals, but I want to give you just some common sense and perhaps maybe some not so obvious things to do in terms of going forward. Now, this first item, read the plan. That seems awfully obvious. But I'm going to suggest to you that perhaps your plan contains more details than simply here's a zone, here's some incentives, there's a market for healthcare economic development, so go get them, boys. There's perhaps more to it than that. And that more to it part is something that also needs to be implemented. The marketing aspect is very important, of course, but the plans are, I say the plans, I certainly haven't read all the plans, but the plans likely are a little more broad than simply the market, the zone, and the resulting development. For instance, there are quality of life issues that may be embedded in the plan that cities and counties can implement to further the success of attracting that economic development. So do what you can do and when you can do it in anticipation of that development. And we're going to talk about successes in just a moment. Who is going to be accountable for implementing the plan? And again, it's not just the broad brush of the plan, it's whatever little details that might lie in each section in the text. We've got economic development agencies here today. Perhaps your community has a city planner. Every community likely has a planning commission, at least municipalities typically have a planning commission. Someone needs to be made responsible and accountable for implementing the plan. Otherwise, you run the risk of taking the actual plan document, putting it on the shelf, and it collecting dust, and the community only pursuing the big picture items of we have a district, we have a market, let's go get the development. Again, there's much more to it. And perhaps one of the most important elements for us as planners is just because your plan is finished, don't stop planning. Planning is a continuous process. And I tell clients among my first meetings with them that even though I'm a planner, I've got lots of years in planning, I have planning education, I don't have the crystal ball that people assume planners have. Don't really know what's going to happen in the future. And even though we as planners do our best at preparing the plans and do our best at foreseeing the future to the extent that we can, sometimes things change. So you have to continue that planning process. And we're going to talk about that a little more in just a moment as well. Something that I believe Mayor Autry mentioned is that they're going to incorporate their plan into their comprehensive plan or their long-range development plan for the city. Now that's the plan that touches on or serves as the policy framework for the city's zoning, transportation, utility, community facilities, the whole package that serves as providing community services and land use to a city. The plan very well may have some details in it, such as zoning recommendations. We saw that I believe it was in Canton, there is a healthcare overlay zone. Well, in order for your zoning to be amended, you perhaps have to make some amendments to your comprehensive plan or to your policy document. And there's some legal technicalities that run along with that we obviously won't get into today. But I think that there are more steps to go for communities to fully implement their plans. And for those state agencies that are listening, those communities might need some funding to do that. So you might hear from some of them. Now, don't stop planning means also to amend the plan as warranted. Conditions change, population may change, target industries may change as time progresses. The law may change, and different opportunities may either surface or go away. So I firmly believe that there is going to be a need and an opportunity, and I would certainly recommend that for the communities that have these plans to consider a periodic review of the plan and amendment to the plan as necessary. And then finally, as it touches on marketing, every community wants to be successful. The worst thing, particularly when economic development becomes a political platform for a mayor or whatever, is you don't want any failures. Advertise your successes, and to be a little more certain of creating those successes, implement your plan in manageable phases. If you can go out and if you can get all those jobs and all that investment in one fell swoop, that's wonderful. But for instance, in our Marshall County plan, the master plan concept actually brings together both private investment and public investment, in that there is a walking track associated with the Health and Wellness Center that Justin mentioned. That walking track very well could be a city investment or a county investment. The city and the county should undertake things like that, steps along the way so that successes can be advertised to maintain some momentum and community support behind the plan. My time is up as well, and I thank you for your time.